Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and Manchester again. Aguero! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa! Roma have risen from their ruins!
Welcome back to the On a Yellow Football Podcast, which we've called this one back to back because our Cavalry FC won 2 games in a row. How are you doing today, Zach?
Can't complain. Doing pretty good.
Yeah, doing pretty good. So do you want to start with us talking, or do you want to do the recap, or you want to do the recap at the end, the recap before? What do you want to do today?
I think recap at the beginning makes sense.
Okay.
Kind of outlays what else we could talk about for the rest of the show.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. With that being said, this is the Canadian Soccer Recap.
Go again.
Go again?
I was not ready.
Okay, no worries. Ready?
Yes.
This is the Canadian Soccer Recap.
FC Super won their first ever game 3-2 against Pacific FC. And in that game, Loic Kwemi scored the first ever goal for Super FC with a goal that just squeaked past goalkeeper Melvin. In the game also featured a possible Save of the Year candidate from Joachim Millie robbing Alejandro Diaz. And late in that game, 21-year-old Alexandre Marcoux scored the late winner.
And moving on, Forge FC forged their first win of the season. Never mind. I'll do that again. Forge FC forged their second victory of the season, winning late against Vancouver FC with a goal from Maxime Fillion off of a rebounded cross from Ben Payton, who's had a pretty good season so far.
The newly rebranded team Inter Toronto debuted in a 2-2 showing against the Halifax Wanderers. This game featured 2 goals by Inter Toronto man Julian Altobelli, scoring his second goal via header off of a beautiful cross from Max Ferrari.
Cavalry FC rode into ATCO Field gallantly and have now kicked off April, winning 2 games in a row. They beat Atletico Ottawa 3-1 in a cup rematch where it was kind of snowy.
And the Canadian women kicked off the FIFA series, beating Zambia 4-0 in a game that featured 2 braces. First half brace by Nichelle Prince and a second half brace by 19-year-old Annabelle Chukwu in her first ever start for the Canadian women national team.
And, with that being said, that was the Canadian Soccer Recap. Zach, can you do your sign-off, please?
Bonjour, au revoir, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you very much. All right. That was a pretty good recap, wasn't it? Was it good? Anything?
Do you want to just go through it one more time to make sure everything's good?
I think it was good, man. I think it was good. I liked it. I think we're good for that. We'll, for the listeners listening, that was us trying to troubleshoot doing a little recap video there, which...
Can I just do the Super one quick again?
Yeah, for sure.
FC Super won their first ever game against Pacific FC. In that game, Loic Kwemi scoring the first ever goal for the team out of Laval, and a goal that just squeaked past the goalkeeper Melvin of Pacific. This game also featured a potential Save of the Season candidate where Joachim Millie robbed Alejandro Diaz of a goal. And late in that game, Super scored from a strike by 21-year-old Alexandre Marcoux to win.
Sounds good. Pretty good?
Yeah.
You happy? Are you happy with
that now?
Happy with all of our responses?
Yeah.
Yeah? You sure?
Yes. I think it's good
Triple
now.
check? Okay.
Unless you want to change something.
No, I think
you want to
it was
redo
good.
one.
I think it was good. I think we're fine. All right. So, with that being said, yeah, that was us trying to troubleshoot doing a little recap video. So, kind of like a behind the scenes on a little radio segment there. That's behind the scenes to, how we create the content for you guys. CPL. CPL is back. It was back last week, and we talked about the CPL games that week. But, there's some new faces and some new teams that played last weekend. Do you want to talk about one of those teams, FC Supra and Air Toronto? Which one? Pick one first for us to talk about.
I'll talk a little bit about FC Supra du Quebec,
Ooh.
as the full name goes,
Yes.
where I just called them Supra earlier.
Yes.
But, their first ever game in the Canadian Premier League was a very entertaining one. And for me, I didn't think they would have a good season personally, just coming into the season with kind of a team of people nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of players coming from, the Quebec League, and guys who haven't really shown what they can do in the CPL, but they do have some players who've had long spells in the CPL. Guys like David Sean Rhee and Sean Rea. Those are two guys who've played in the league for a long time, and I think it's their left back. I have to double check if that's his position, but he kind of, I'm pretty sure he used to play in the top division of Spain.
Yeah. I mean, their team, obviously, I believe FC Supra is built from old Quebecois, right?
That's what they said. I don't know if the whole team is Quebecois at the moment, but I think that's the goal,
Yes.
because they got a guy, Boubacar Sissoko. Maybe he's born in Quebec. I'm not entirely sure, but his country's Mali, and he's been playing with different CPL teams for his entire career.
Yep.
So maybe he is, but as far as I know, he's not. But
Yeah, totally. I mean, to be honest with this game, so this game was quite interesting. I think it had everything for the CPL to offer. It had basically everything, which is really, really cool to see. Supra won their first game 3-2, late drama, but there's so much things that happened during this game that honestly, we could talk about it for ages, because this game was a great debut for Supra, but it was also a pretty good game for Pacific. Pacific played pretty well, and I mean, I want to kind of focus on one guy here, and that's Loic Quemi scoring the first ever goal for the franchise, and he took it well. It was kind of a bit of a bobble, kind of hit off of a defender and went past Melvin, but he showed how dangerous he is. Every time it seemed he got the ball, I think everybody in the crowd had a collective deep breath or held their breaths, because he was really dangerous, really strong, but he was also double-footed, and that's what I really liked about him. He could use both feet, and he shot with both feet. And in a league like the CPL, you don't really see a lot of that. You see guys that tend to try to get to their dominant foot as much as possible, but he could be an asset to Supra making a run here. I was watching Supra. I mean, it's only too early to tell. Obviously, they're playing against Pacific, but they looked really comfortable, really strong, and didn't really look like a newly formed team. They really showed how good they were, and it was a really fun game to watch. It was 5:00 on a Saturday or whatever, and it was a really rainy display, really rainy weather on Vancouver Island, but it was extremely good game to watch. I think Loic Quemi, he played really good with Baya, but that link up between Baya, the right winger, and Quemi worked really well and worked in Supra's favor. I found them extremely I found them extremely dangerous, both of them working together. And I think that link up, those two players, Baya and Quemi, could possibly be two players and kind of a partnership to look at during the CPL season. And I think it's going to be really fun to see, how that team develops throughout the season, because obviously we haven't seen them.
Well, I feel like when you look at some of the players on the team, they have interesting backstories and kind of pasts. And you were talking about Quemi. He played in the infamous game where CS Laurent beat Halifax Wanderers in penalties. He scored in that game, and probably also scored in the penalty shootout. And I think, after that he brought into the CPL in Valor and didn't have a good stint really. And I think I believe he went back to Laurent after that season with Valor, and now he's getting that chance again in the CPL, and I think he this time feels a little bit more confident. He knows that the team needs him, whereas I think on Valor he was kind of a late addition and a kind of a guy that, he wasn't a main part of that team. He kind of got added after the fact and was somebody that they didn't necessarily rely on, and a guy that I think didn't feel, the sense of community where he does in Supra, where he's in his home province. He's with a bunch of other people that share that kind of similar culture to him, and I think it helps with a team that's new like Supra to have that kind of collective identity on the team already.
Exactly. I think he now knows his place on the team, and he's kind of the guy that Supra is going to look for to make a difference in games. Supra's identity. I talked about it like a little bit, but we finally found what is Supra's identity. With the players that they're getting, the formation that they're choosing. What style of play is this newly formed team gonna play? And like I said earlier, I think it is a very entertaining game, very fun game to watch, and a game I think against some like opposition could prove to be very dangerous when it comes to their attack. They play this really fluid game. They played a really fluid game. Like, obviously, again, it is too early to tell exactly what their team is going to be. Obviously, they're playing against Pacific, who is kind of lower in the table. You'd want to see them playing against a Forge, playing against a Cavalry to see exactly how that system plays against top teams in the league. But, against Pacific played very well. But Supra, like, their counterattacks are really good. Instead of, being really slow build-up, they have an extremely fast build-up, fast style of play, fast transition-based football, and just really entertaining football. They're quick, counter-attacking on their transition all of the time. And, it proved to be something that got them their second goal for sure, but got them, all the other goals they had. They pressed, they really attacked, they really wanted to play the game. And I just found it really interesting. They took advantage of Pacific's defensive holes. They loved their wing play. Chouanière liked to do an overlap with the left winger or the right winger, depending on what side he was on the pitch. And he would overlap between them. He's just like playing really, really strong. You're looking a bit perplexed there, Zach.
Well, I was just trying to figure out, where Supra's home stadium would be.
Yes, it's in Laval.
Well, no, it's actually not. They're playing in, I believe, 4 different stadiums across the season.
Okay, so they played their it says Laval is like the main one when I searched them up because
their next week. Next week, they play at the Sepsum Stadium, a 5,100 seat stadium at the University of Montreal in Montreal, Quebec.
Okay, so they're just playing all around Quebec then.
So next week it'll be interesting to see how the atmosphere at their first game.
Yes,
and after they have 4 straight home games, they play Atletico Ottawa, Halifax, and then Cavalry at home, as well as the first round of the Canadian Championship at home. And I believe they're probably... no, they switched stadiums in there for some reason, too.
So they just, switch a bunch of stadiums then?
Their first 2 home games are at Sepsum Stadium. Their second 2 are at Stade Burrell in Laval.
Yeah. Well, if they're balancing between playing in Laval and Montreal, Laval is not far away from Montreal. It's connected to Montreal, right? So that's fine. But for me, Quebec is a huge province, right? And they'll only be playing in 2 different places or 3 different places, right? Laval, Montreal, and Quebec City. So you would think that's a bit weird that they're not playing at one specific stadium.
Most of their games are at The Laval Stadium. I think
Yes.
they just have to move around sometimes because they
Dude.
share the stadium with the Montreal Roses.
Okay.
And then they're also playing at the TELUS Stadium at Laval University.
Okay, so that's why it's just like kind of
They're kind of all over the place in their first season. I think
I
as
think
time
they-
goes, they kind of find a home.
yeah, I think
But-
they would find a home. I think it was they had a place, they got a team, but then they have to balance between, of course, the NSL team, and stuff like that. You know, this game, like, it was actually such a fun game to watch, like I said, but there was so much like stuff at play. FVS was at play. New rules were at play. You know, and speaking about new rules, the new pace of play rule was at play. So, you know, I talked about Baya and talked about how he had a very good link-up play and good game with our buddy here, Quemi, and you know, but he was subbed off in like the 60-something minute, and you know he took his time, and you know the new rules within the CPL is that you have 10 seconds to get off the pitch, but you can get off the pitch at any angle. You just have to get off the pitch. So if you're across from the bench, you can just go off on the sidelines at that side, and then walk towards your sub bench. But you know, Baya took his time and was over the 10 seconds that was allotted for substitutions, and now that means, right, that Supra was actually down to 10 men for a minute and one stoppage. So basically, they're down to 10 men for 1 minute, and then they have to wait for a stoppage in play for that player getting subbed on to get subbed on and to get onto the pitch. And in that time, Pacific FC took that to an extreme advantage, and they actually scored. Josh Hurd, who we haven't actually heard of, see what I did there? We haven't heard of in a while. He scored another goal here, his first of the season, at least one touch finish from a beautiful cross. But again, you know, that shows the new pace of play rule, and I think it's interesting. What are your thoughts on the pace of play rule? Like, I think it's actually a really good addition.
When did he get subbed off?
Like 60-something minute, I believe. He got subbed off for someone.
I don't know. According to this, Josh, there was only Pacific substitutions before the goal, but
Well, yeah, I don't know. He did get subbed off. I think because they didn't count the substitution until the minute was allotted, because he didn't get onto the pitch. I think that's why. Because yeah, no, it was a pace of play rule. I think that they didn't count the substitution because the player didn't technically get subbed on. The player just got subbed off.
he got subbed on technically in the 71st minute, I guess.
Yeah, he got subbed on then because they had to wait till a stoppage.
Interesting.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that rule?
I mean,
It's like to all reduce like time wasting, right?
I feel like people don't genuinely time waste with a substitution in the middle of the game, though.
No, he just took
So-
his time.
Like, there was still plenty of time left to play when
Yeah.
the sub was being made, so I don't...
I think
kind
he
of-
forgot that the rule existed and was just kind of like, you know, I played a match. I'm going to take my time and we can get a sub here. They were winning at the time.
I guess, but, like, I feel like it's not really that much time that's being wasted
Yeah.
for, like, a mid-game substitution. If it's at the end of the game, sure. But in the middle of the game, I feel like how much time over 10 seconds did he really take?
I don't know.
Like, if it's, like, 2 seconds over 10 and then he has to wait a minute on the sideline and then it ends up being a goal, I feel like it's a little bit unfair. So if it's, like, egregiously long, sure.
I think he did take his time, but again, I think they were also trying to implement that new rule because obviously rules are rules, right? If you're over the 10 seconds. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know if the ref is counting 10 seconds exactly, and if he's over like at 11 seconds, they're going to call it. I think it's mostly like if it's egregious, like if he's actually trying to deliberately time waste or it looks like he is, then I think that rule will be implemented. This rule is also going to be implemented in the 2026 World Cup, which is going to be cool. Same with the rule that they have, which some of the refs have initiated, which is the 10-second countdown for throw-ins as well that we talked about in a previous episode, a couple episodes ago, where the player has 10 seconds to throw the ball, and instead of time wasting. Which, I mean, to be honest, I think it's fine. Again, these are like minor things. Like, I don't think that much people time waste on a throw-in, nor do they time waste really I think at the end of the game when they get subbed off, like that was a tactic. It would, you do a late substitution because, and then the guy takes his time, starts clapping and celebrating with the fans and stuff like that and thanking them. So I think that's one thing that they're trying to like hunker down on. They're really trying to make it so it's like, I think just to reduce that aspect. I mean, goal kicks, in my opinion, are like the main one. I think a lot of goalkeepers, they take their time. They still do in this league. They take their time. They get the ball, then they start walking. They grab some water, and then they place it down. They slowly walk back, and I think that deserves a red card for time wasting. But I think I think it's an addition. I mean, it's a rule. But yeah, I'm with you as well. Like it's an added addition, but it's not necessarily something that's like crazy, like FVS, for example. Speaking about FVS, this was probably the smartest FVS decision that I've seen.
There's not been that many.
There's not been that many. There's only been a couple that have been agreed to have been like they agree on the appeal, but this was probably the smartest appeal that I've seen, and it was from Supra, from the Supra's coach. So there's a guy in Pacific. His name is Beluse. And he was on the pitch and he got a yellow. Then he did another challenge that the ref didn't really call. I think he called it maybe an advantage or something. And it was a pretty dangerous tackle, I would say. Not a direct red, that's for sure. But then the coach, after the play was stopped, kind of at the end of the game, he did the thing with his finger, the circle around to call in the ref in, and to give his card or his appeal card to the fourth official so that they could look over the play. And it was deemed actually that, kind of some context actually. So in the FES system, you are not allowed as a coach to appeal for another yellow card. You're only allowed to appeal saying for a direct red, for example. And that's what they did. They appealed for a direct red, even though they knew it wasn't going to be a direct red. But they did the direct red call to look at the challenge, and then the ref deemed that the challenge was another yellow. So the guy got sent off with 2 yellow cards. And that proved worthy. So Pacific FC, they're down to 10 men, and Supra now has the numerical advantage. They come down the pitch in like the 96th minute. The ball bounces everywhere. I think an initial pretty good save. And then it goes to Alexandra Marco, who's a U Sports graduate, who scored his first ever professional goal in his first ever professional match. So pretty good for him, honestly. I can't relate because obviously I'm not that good at football. So I can say that he's probably very happy, but I can't know for sure. Obviously, because my soccer skills are not at that level. And I think you agree with that, Zach.
Well, better than me.
I mean, there you go. I mean, should we do football content so that the listeners and the viewers of our YouTube videos could see our great soccer skills?
I mean, if you want to call them great.
I've seen you in the crossbar challenge, and you're elite. Elite defender, center back Zach.
Maybe if I just body check them.
Imagine a video idea here. You get trained by a professional footballer to get better, and then you do a 1v1
Do
or
a
something.
Jinxie.
Yeah, do a Jinxie.
Do a Marlin.
Do a Jinxie, Marlin.
They're both training for the charity
The
match.
Sidemen charity match, which is this weekend.
I mean, Marlin's pretty good.
I've seen him. I've seen him in the other charity match in, I believe,
Jinxie's
Saudi
also
Arabia.
pretty good. So
Jinxie's pretty good as well.
he's made himself competent at football.
Exactly. I mean, speaking about that, I mean, might as well talk about the Sidemen charity match.
I mean, Sidemen FC have been kind of dominant in the charity match.
Exactly. Who do you think? Who do you think's winning? Obviously, now the new way.
I actually
it's
don't know who's on the teams. So.
Sidemen charity match. They've split them. So Sidemen FC has 3 of the 6 Sidemen members, and the other 3 Sidemen members have switched sides to play for YouTube All Stars, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure Mini Minter is on YouTube, as well
Wasn't there
as
7 of them though?
Is there 7? Oh, there is 7.
So what team's got more?
I don't know is one of them playing or not. I think Sidemen FC has more, because Sidemen FC has Vicstar, I believe. So really, it's like
Sidemen FC has Vicstar,
yes.
Toby, Josh, and Harry.
Okay,
They also have Deji.
they do.
KSI, Miniminter, and Ethan are on the other team.
Yes.
With Angry Ginge and Sketch.
Angry Ginge sketch.
Chris MD's on Sidemen
I believe
FC.
XQC is back.
Yep.
So my
Our Canadian guy.
our Canadian guy, and according to people who watch our episodes, my lookalike.
Just looking at the rosters, I will say that I think Sidemen FC will win.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it's
you've
gonna
not
be,
seen. I mean,
I don't think it's
Sketch-
going to be that close.
Sketch when it matters is
Yeah, but they have Sidemen FC has Vicstar, Toby, Josh, Harry, Deji, Chris MD on their team, Nico, Arthur Frederick, Marlon's on that team, Jinxie's on that team.
ooh.
I think it's going to be they got kind of everybody.
Marlon and Toby connection.
I mean, KSI and Simon might cook for YouTube. I don't know. Ethan probably won't do too much because not at the Linden Stadium.
Yeah, that was a moment.
I mean, if you put Angry Ginge on Sidemen FC, they stood no chance. He
Yeah.
had to go. He had to go on YouTube. Sketch. I'm not sure.
I mean, the goalkeepers
I mean,
are the
didn't he win MVP last time?
yeah. The goalkeepers was probably the worst position in the Sidemen charity match.
I mean, Team YouTube has George Clarkey and Italian Botch on the team though.
The connection.
I mean, they also have Phantom.
Phantom's playing. I mean, yeah, he
Phantom,
played last
Jason
year.
the Ween,
Oh yeah, I forgot
Danny
he's happy.
Aaron's, Stable Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, their team.
I don't
is-
think they're gonna do too well.
No, they got Mini Minter though, but again, there's not. I mean, Mini Minter's past tournament wasn't great, or his past charity match, so I don't know if it's going to be good this year.
I know there's like some people on
Don't-
these teams.
oh yeah,
that
Mr. Beast, I don't think is coming this year.
No.
He had like other.
There's some players on these teams that I've never heard of,
yeah,
such as Carrie Minati,
I don't know who that is.
Ibai,
I don't know who that is either.
NYK Chaza,
I don't know who that is.
Mr. Who's the Boss.
I don't know who any of those people are.
What about Squeezy
I don't know.
or
Who's the
Amin
manager?
Matu?
I don't know who those people are. Who's the manager for both sides?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
It's probably going to be what, Chip and.
Well, I don't know.
Because last year it was Chip and what's his name? I forgot his name, to be honest. That's my bad there. But you know, it's a pretty cool tournament.
Jack Joseph is Sidemen FC and Cal Freezy is YouTube.
Yeah, Cal Freezy, yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know
that's
who-
pretty good.
Who's Jack Joseph? But
He's a guy that does shorts like.
style is skits, pranks, and challenges.
Yeah, he does skits and stuff. He's quite funny actually.
But who's going to be commentating?
I bet it's gonna be Steven Tries and Spencer FC. Spencer FC, who is a Hammers fan, by the way.
Is he?
He is.
He's not a #United fan.
Well, I mean, he is a #United fan. He owns #United. So, but he's a Hammers fan. I remember watching him back when he did like FIFA 15 videos, like back in the day before hashtag. I remember watching the original hashtag when like hashtag was like basically a Sunday league team before they grew into actually being a pretty decent side in the football pyramid.
Is Speed not playing this year?
I don't know. I don't think he is.
Interesting. No Kai Cenat.
I think Speed is well, he's going like around the world right now, it seems. So he's probably has like I think it's the same with the Mr. Beast had like other considerations that he couldn't.
Theo Baker didn't get invited this year.
Theo Baker's probably injured again. But
No Mark Rober.
no, he was in the charity match in Saudi, which was kind
I
of
mean,
cool.
Theo Baker had a pretty good game last time. He got a hat trick.
He got a hat trick and then got injured and left.
Well, he scored in the 34th minute, the 18th minute, and the 90th.
Oh, never mind then. He played the full match.
I mean, Big Bez scored at 78.
Yeah, I think, and then what's his name scored? Josh. He scored his first ever goal in the Cyberman charity match. How much money did they raise? They raised quite a hefty sum. I mean, they sold out Wembley. And
I mean, the tickets, it says tickets were £12 each.
yeah, and they sold out Wembley.
There's not really that much information here.
Well, I know they're going for more this year. They had like a record. I'm pretty sure. I don't know the sum, but I'm pretty sure it was over a couple million, potentially. I would have to search that up to know the actual sum, but I'm pretty sure it was quite a lot. They sold out Wembley. They had a record attendance, a record amount of money
They
raised.
didn't do one in 2024?
They did it last year, 2025.
Yeah, but they didn't have one in 24. They did 23
Yeah.
and 25.
Yeah. They did 2016, 17, 18, then didn't do it until 2022, then 23 and 25, and then now 26. Yeah, no, they took a break. But they took a break after London Stadium and then said, "Yeah, we're going bigger now. We're going Wembley." And then they like completely sold out Wembley, which is really cool. It's crazy that like a bunch of like YouTubers and like Twitch streamers that are not great at soccer could sell out Wembley. I think it's just a moment. Like, to be honest, there's like fun shenanigans that happen, like Max Fosh trying.
I mean, I think one of the most iconic moments of the Sidemen charity match was in that 2023 when Bazinga scored in the London Stadium.
I mean, what a story it was.
Knee slide into the corner flag 9 minutes into the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of my favorite moments was Max Fosh, both of his ones that he played. The first one with the Uno reverse card for getting a yellow, and then the second one where he got the yellow card and shredded it. His shredder actually broke during that game because he had like a mini like custom shredder built for the game specifically.
Who's Manny, bro? Manny scored 3 goals.
Manny is Toby's brother.
Mm.
He's a Liverpool fan.
He scored 3 goals in that 2023.
Yeah. Well, Manny's like gross.
Well, Manny played professional for here, didn't he?
No, that's Jed.
Jed,
Yeah.
his other brother.
Yes, Jed Brown. Jed Brown, Manny Brown, and Toby Brown. All on the Family Ties podcast, actually. But
What's
yeah, no.
Jed Brown up to these days after
He's
his
playing non-league, I think, but he played for
Crawley Town?
Crawley Town, yeah, and
He's not even on Fop Mob.
no, he's playing for a team, I believe, in 5th tier potentially,
Well, he would be on Fop Mob then.
or 4th tier or something. He moved way down.
Jed Brown plays for nobody
Is there nobody right now? Yeah,
since March 14th.
Ah.
He used to play for Ashford,
yeah.
which is
He's just doing the podcast now. You know, he's joining our community, the podcast community.
Ashford's like the same level as hashtag.
Okay, yeah. But no, I think honestly, you know, we talk about football on this podcast, but you know, the Sidemen charity match, for anyone that doesn't know, is that the football is kind of the afterthought. I mean, football is just not great, but the shenanigans and things that happen are what really brings people to watch it. And I mean, I think it's just really cool.
Apparently they're going to play Marlon as a defender,
Oh,
which seems...
I mean, I've seen him training.
Maybe it's wrong.
He's been doing some class training. Like actually, like I've watched videos of people like that are actual trainers looking at his training footage, and they're saying like he's doing actual really good drills.
Supposedly the two strikers on Sidemen FC is Nico and Zerka. I think Marlon should be playing striker.
I think with Zerka, he was gonna play center back, but I think they want him to get a goal. Hasn't he not scored? Or
He just scored last year.
I think he scored last year. Yeah, maybe they just want him to score again.
Jinxie's a midfielder
I mean, if
with
he can,
Adapt and Lacey.
if he can do better than last year's performance, then
Laserbeam's playing right back.
I mean, I think he played right back last time, so it's fine.
Maybe Marlon's playing full back.
Potentially,
The Swedish man,
I know.
supposedly.
I mean, I think he'll probably move up to forward. Maybe I mean, it's just a cool experience in this Iron charity match.
Angry Ginge is, of course, playing center back with KSI.
Oh yeah, I like how I remember. Yeah, because KSI played goalie that one year
Miniminter's striking.
in 2022,
Zinga's playing center
I
mid
believe.
with Botch and George Clark.
Okay.
I mean, should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited just to see some of the clips. I mean, honestly, watching the game it's kind of difficult to watch the game fully. I've tried. I remember putting it on, and it was the one where XQC was on YouTube All Stars, and just
So
got
last
a.
year.
It was the
Or-
game before, the year before.
Mm.
It was when he was in net. It was before Sketch was in net for YouTube All Stars.
Sketch has a 50% save percentage.
Yeah, he has the best save. He's the best goalie out of all of them.
He has one high claim,
Wow.
3 errors leading to goals.
I remember watching those kind of
He had-
charity matches back in the day.
He had 4 accurate long balls with an 80% accuracy.
They had a game where they didn't have any fans in Wembley back in 2016. I was watching that game. I remember all these YouTubers. It was the
Apparently-
first one.
He played in the Beta Squad versus Amp charity match in 2024 as well.
Yeah, they had that charity match as well. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of charity matches that go around, which is really cool to see. It's a great way to kind of show how football can connect us with, giving back. Football gives us so much, but football can also be a tool to give back. And the Sidemen charity match is one thing. Honestly, yeah, the football's not great, but the amount of money that they're raising for charities is huge.
But how can you forget XQC made a penalty save last year?
He did, but Sketch made the winning penalty save against Miniminter.
No, but I'm talking about in the actual game.
He did,
not in the
yes.
shootout.
He against Lachlan.
XQC also did have a 50% save percentage too. So
Okay.
they're pretty equal.
You're going to put some respect on his goalkeeping career? Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean, XQC had 100% accurate long balls. With
Wow.
One accurate
Wow.
long ball.
I mean, yeah, didn't he have a 5 rating? He had
It
a 10
doesn't
rating one
say.
time. He had a 10 rating one game. His first ever one. And he had a goal where it hit off of his face and in the net.
It doesn't show me his rating on here.
It's fine,
He played in the 2023 one.
He's representing Canada in the Sidemen
2023
charity
here,
match.
he conceded 8 goals.
Yeah.
He had a .33
Yeah.
rating.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to be modest there and trying to be nice, but
I mean,
okay, that's fine.
Sketch in the Beta Squad versus Amp one. I believe he had a .97, so not much better.
No, but he made the final save. That's all that matters. They
That is
won.
true.
And the YouTube All Stars, that was their first win. So
I
think
mean,
that's really cool to
Laserbeam's
see.
pretty consistent, apparently. He gets
Yeah.
around a 6 rating every time.
That's pretty good. Speaking about victories, the Cavalry, we're back-to-back wins in April, which is we've not seen. So, we're kind of in unfamiliar territory right now for our team, and our team is playing really, really good. And I'm excited for this season. Aren't you?
Yeah. I think we have a team that can win.
I know.
Win it all.
I think all of our players are playing fantastic. Now, one thing that was kind of glaring, it was the first home game at Atco Field for the boys in red, and there was some field upgrades. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they got some new benches.
They did?
2 rows of seating in the benches now. They put some irrigation stuff in the field. It makes it have some dark bands in it for some reason. But
I noticed that too. I mean, I was like,
the field should be better.
It was
when
like
it's rainy.
it's like a tree, like the pitch right now. Like those dark lines are just representing our championship victories. I'm pulling at strings here, but that's why, right?
Something like that. Sure.
Yeah. It's like a tree. We grow and we gain a new band every time, every season. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's what they told me.
Who told you?
No one.
They might have lied to you.
Yeah, potentially. But I liked the pitch. It was very green. It was very luscious, and to be honest, it was a very good playing surface. Now, this game was it was kind of a snowy game, kind of like a rematch. Now, I mean, the game, it seemed like the pitch, though, was like a slip and slide for some players. It seemed like they were playing on a slip and slide. A lot of players were slipping and sliding all over the place. Now, I don't know if that's just because the pitch was, wet and slippery due to the weather, or if that's like because the pitch has barely any grip to it. I don't know. But it seems like our players and the players in the other team as well have to upgrade their stud game because, the studs that they have right now are not working. They're slipping and sliding all over the place. What are your thoughts on that, Zach?
Well, there was some times where people seemed to have trouble getting grip.
Yeah.
I mean, the field was wet,
Mm-hmm.
to be fair. It was snowing and kind of like misting almost earlier in the day.
Totally.
So it's not crazy to see them slipping. I think in dry conditions it'll be better. But I don't know. There's not much to say about it, really.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell, really. Like, again, like these are like the first games, like first home games. Like, our team looked really good, though. And, Payton, he is 2 goals in 2 matches for us, and he has been a great asset to our midfield. Our midfield was kind of disjointed last season. I think by the end, we got it, but at the start, like every Cavs season, we hadn't won in April, and I think we just needed we needed a little boost in that midfield, a connection piece, and he has been the connection. He's connected our defense to our midfield and as well as our forwards, and he's been extremely strong. Obviously, it was expected based off of where he had played previously. It's no different the weather for Payton, obviously playing in Scottish weather, but he played in the Scottish Prem and now he's come play for our team and he's really shown how class he is when he's not injured. And he's a really fun player to watch. I mean, what a player. I mean, I just want to kind of mention, I said, I watched these videos the podcast episode where he signed. And I said I watched these videos where they couldn't get him off the ball and all that stuff. And I'm just gonna say it right here. Those videos were true, and what I said was exactly true, and it was projecting exactly what I thought that Harry Payton would have brought to our team, and he's brought it, and he's brought it with full force. Do you have anything?
I mean, there's not much to add. You kind of got all the points down.
Do you like Payton?
Yeah, I mean he scores goals.
He does. He scores goals. He hasn't assisted anything, but he's started plays, which is it's just quite good. Like, I mean, it's hard to really pinpoint how good he's going to be. He had an 8.7 rating on FUTMob last game. And, I love his movement and his ability to shield the ball. Obviously coming from Scotland and a very aggressive league, a league where they like to stick in their challenges and kind of go head on. He knows how to shield the ball. He knows how to protect himself from players, and that just really helps Like, I mean, it really helps in the CPL where they let him have a little bit more space. He can be a bit more creative. And he's been a class player for us. Now, another guy, Zach, I want to know your thoughts on Camargo this season. What are your thoughts on his play?
I think, he's kind of a shoo-in to always be in the team. Obviously, he has the captain's armband now. And I think he's a player that with, the current team we have, I think the link-up play with Reshevsky was very evident at the end of last season. And I think, he has an assist through the first 2 matches. I think he's played, his game pretty well and kind of a guy who you can rely on every day to go in and put a performance and play for the badge. He's been here for so long now. And I think he was the right guy to give that armband and a guy who a lot of the players on the team look up to for, support or kind of just, they trust him to be someone that can lead them to victories and hopefully the championship this season. And I think he's a player that can create a ton from the midfield and can kind of drag players away from our other attacking options.
Exactly. I mean, he's shown how he can do that. He's been an extremely good attacking outlet and a playmaker. He's caused a lot of trouble for defenses. His way of finding a pass has been remarkable. And his link-up play with Payton, it seems like they've been playing on the same team for years.
Well, the assist on the Payton goal was fantastic.
Yeah.
He played it perfectly into the middle of the box, right into the pathway of Payton to kind of just smash it into the bottom corner.
Exactly. He's shown how strong he is. Like you said, though, leadership presence. He's been on the team. And it's exciting for the future to see a player like that. And obviously a player like that stay. We've had
Well, he's been here since 2019.
Exactly.
So.
He's up there with the Fraser Airds and being, a club legend per se on our team.
I think if you want to go off of club legend, he is Cavalry FC.
Yeah.
More than Fraser Aird.
Yeah.
And I think, he's played 162 matches here now, 32 goals, and he's a player
that we can rely on for sure.
He's always kind of been involved in the team. He in 2022, we kind of missed him a bit because he was out for most of the year.
Mm-hmm. But
he's a player that when he is available, he's someone that you can rely on to be one of the best players on the field.
Exactly. I think, since watching Cavalry since their inception, right, Camargo has been the name that has been called almost every single year. And, I think it was a great decision to make him the captain because obviously Fraser and Carducci leaving the squad, those are big leadership presence, and 2 of those players with a big leadership presence leaving the team. And, now with Camargo, he is the next guy in line. He was the leader. I think he was a big leader even before he got the armband. Like I said, like you said too, it's like, he's been our mainstay guy. He knows the Cavalry identity. He knows how to play for this club, and he's really shown that he loves it here.
I think one thing he just has to watch out for is the yellow cards. Through 2 games, he already has 2.
Mm-hmm.
And, if it keeps going like that, he will be suspended before we know it.
Was it 8 yellows?
I'm not sure what the number is, but they can pile up pretty fast. So.
Yeah. And we don't want him to be
we
out
don't
of the
want him.
squad.
Yeah, we don't want to miss our captain.
Now, speaking about, another midfielder, Nico Myronuk got his, first little forte into this season, playing 20 minutes, 10 minutes? And I thought he actually
14.
had a pretty good debut for this season.
Well, he tried to create, but there was a little bit of disconnect, I think.
Yeah.
In the final third.
I think he should have shot it when he had a chance. He had a beautiful chance, but he tried to lay it off. And I think, get that confidence, shoot the ball. You don't know necessarily if it's going to go in or not. But again, when it's 3-1 up, you have nothing to really lose, especially at the end of the game. And for me, looking at a player that's trying to shoot from from farther out shows me confidence. It shows me that they're ready to play. Because obviously it takes a ton of confidence to do that. Because if you mess up, like you have to own up to that, right? But you just don't think of messing up. You think of just cracking it and hoping to get in. And especially against Atletico Ottawa's goalkeeper, who I thought has been very poor as of late, Crampton, I believe his name is. This is only his second professional game, and I think he's been very poor and not confident as well. I think you just take a crack at it, right? Anything can happen. That Crampton in net is he's been a little bit shaky as of late, so something could happen, and even if they make the save, it could go out to a Warshevsky or another player who's in the box, and I think gaining a bit more confidence would be nice. I think he's going to gain more game time though this season, which should be really good.
And I think somebody I talked about in last episode, Nathaniel Edwards. He started this game, and I think he had a lot better of a game. He seemed a little bit more confident.
Did slip a lot, but
the pitch was wet.
The pitch was wet. It was, yeah.
People slip in the Premier League because the pitch be wet.
Exactly.
So it's not really something to dig on him.
Oh no, it's not against him at all.
But I think he created a lot of chances. He got involved in the attack a lot.
Totally.
And I think one thing that changed between his game today or this week and the week before was the passes. They were so much more crisp. They seemed more cohesive and more
convincing.
They just seemed to be more meshed this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he played a good game, a good overlap with Perlman on that side, and I think they were both effective in trying to create chances and breaking down the Ottawa defense.
No, totally. I think, I think they were strong. I think Ali Musi will start next game and kind of get into the game a little bit more. But I thought Edwards was a very good player. Obviously, you're in a position for Cavalry that's been dominated by Ali Musi, and you have a lot to kind of show. But he showed it, and he was extremely strong.
Well, they took Intigne off for Musi.
Yeah, so you don't really know.
I mean, he did score, but who knows?
I mean,
we have young wingers. They're both 23.
It's great that we have depth now. I think the one thing that we got when we signed a ton of people is we were a bit worried at the start of kind of the off season if we were going to get some players, because obviously we knew we were going to be losing players, but we kind of at the end kind of sneaked in a lot of acquisitions that created a team with immense depth, and depth that is really important to have in a league that is kind of cagey when it comes to playing. A lot of the teams, especially in the top three, are very close a lot in numbers, especially when it comes to battling for the league. And I think that it's going to be a really cool thing to see throughout this season. I think it's going to be interesting to see, who we actually play in the winger position, if we rely on a couple people every day in and day out, or if we switch the system almost every game. It's going to be interesting what Wheeldon chooses.
Well, we have a very young winger core on our team, apart from Ali Musi.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Herdman's 21, and both Gote and Edwards are 23, and then Maël Henry, I believe, is also only about 20.
Yeah.
And then you have somebody like a Musi that they can all learn from. And I think it's good to have that kind of mentorship in the team too.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Warshevsky is our number 9 this season? Like, he's our main man?
We don't really have anybody else.
Yeah.
Elva doesn't really play striker when he comes on. He kind of he played
cam.
striker last game.
He's more of a cam, in my opinion.
But he kind of, I feel like he replaces Camargo a little bit better than when
Same.
he replaces Toby.
Same. I think he's more of a cam, more of a technical baller, someone that tries to get into the play, but tries to make plays and stuff. He had a great goal in the last game of the season last season. And, I think he's a good asset, but I think, Warshevsky's our main man. Another thing is our center back duo, Klomp and Didic. It's like they're playing extremely well, but they are so tall. You know, they're both over 6 feet and well over 6 feet, and they bring this like physicality to our defense that's really good, especially during set pieces. They just kind of head the ball out, or during set pieces for us, they head the ball in because, of course, Klomp scored from a delivery by Warshevsky, who plays number 9, but also does all of our set pieces and does them really well.
The thing with Tobias Warshevsky, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife on attack.
Exactly.
You know, you list him as the striker, but there's so many times where he'll be like at the corner flag trying to swing across into, you know, Gauthier Intigne, who's for some reason playing striker.
He has so much class, though. Like, he can do
And
everything.
He's so tall, but he's like surprisingly good at dribbling
Yeah.
and like keeping the ball at his feet.
And his set pieces are immaculate. Like, his delivery into Klomp for our first goal at Atco Field this season was extremely good. The delivery was extremely strong. You know, it was a ball where you just know that someone can get ahead on it. It's a very appetizing and an appealing appealing ball, and it just spun beautifully and side spin right to Klomp's head, and it was in. Now Gauthier scored. I didn't see that goal. Was that goal good?
I mean, sort of. It kind of bounced to him, and
Okay.
he kind of put it in, but
It's good to see that he's getting game time. It's good to see that he's on our team, because obviously we got Klomp and Tigney back late into last season to kind of drive for third place. And now this season we have all those players and then some at the start of the season. I think that's one of the reasons why we're 2 games unbeaten and top of the league right now within April, which we've not seen before.
well, I'm kind of surprised we got Gauthier Intigne back from
Same.
Annecy, because it's not like he wasn't bad when he was there.
Totally.
He played 3 games for Annecy and scored 3 goals, and then came back to us on a free transfer after we sold him to. Well, we loaned him to Annecy, then they bought him, so we gained money off of him, and then he came back for free anyway. It's the best catch we transfer.
Yeah, no, that it's like a win-win just for us. I mean, it works out really well. And I mean, obviously he has class playing for FC Annecy in France, I believe the League 2 side. So it's just and really good. I mean, playing against Paris FC, who's now in Ligue 1, and you know, he has class. And I mean, he has that. If he's playing in those leagues, obviously class, but also training and everything is different, and he can bring that level of play into a league like ours, and it's something that's really cool to see. All right, I'm going to end the episode here. This was episode 22? Episode 22 of the On Yellow podcast, back to back, because, of course, Calvary won back-to-back games in April, which we've not seen before. All right, Zach, can I get a sign-off, please? Oh, my God.
Bonjour, au revoir, and have a great rest of your day.
Dude, that was crazy. The guy that does the sign-offs messed up. I mean, to be honest, I mess up all the time, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. All right. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, and see you later, guys.